know I got the receipts, girl. You know I got the receipts. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Sweet Pea Diaries. It's your girl Sweet Pea and I am back with another video. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel. And if you are a new subscriber, welcome to the Sweet Pea Diaries. Be sure to like this video, share this video, but most importantly, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Now, before we get started, we would like to thank tonight's sponsor, which is Adam and Eve. Please head on over there. Adam and Eve, click the link below in the description box to get 25% off your purchase using code EROTICA. Okay? Y'all know what time it is. All right, who we got in the building? We got Mo Jazzy, we got Montes, we got Denise, Deion Sanders, hi member, Susie Jones, Natural Girl Lee, Tiff Confident, not cocky, hi member, Dear Yvette, hey girl, we got Scott, Courtney Jackson, Keisha Sellers, CR22, my girl. We got Marmar, Empress 90. Together we break chains, my girl. We got iGreen Tech, Mrs. Jordan, the Sweet Pea Diaries checking in. We got Courtney Jackson, check please. Dover Girl 843, Jenny Chavez, Beautiful Dage, Sassy, hi member, Nicole M, and Annie Gans. Of course, we got Allegedly Shady Shannon peeking on in. We got Marva CB. Hey, member. Joy to the world. We got The Real Patty. And we got Miss Rockstar 218. Hey, y'all. Oh, Judy is here. Kim Marsh is here. My member Velma is here. Hey, Asala is here. All of the peepers, all of the sweeties and sweetums are here. Now, guess what? Y'all? Before we get started, we got to tell y'all this. We are not legal professionals. We are not lawyers, paralegals, none of that, but we can read. From Colorado. Hey, girl. Hey, K Monique. Hey, Queen Black. Hey, Barbara. I see y'all. All right, let's get started. So, y'all, I told you that this was going to happen. Now, Cardi B said, Friday was not going to be a good day for Tasha K, and it looks like it was not a good day for her. Now, yesterday I would have reported on this, but, I was a little under the weather. Hey, Bougie Barbie. So I didn't get to, but I seen all of you guys' DMs. Everybody was hitting me up. Sweet Pea, did you see what happened? And I did. And I'm like, well, it doesn't surprise me because I know anytime that Tasha trolls Cardi or she goes on a rant, it's something coming down the pike. So I knew it was something. Now, it's not the actual appeal being thrown out. That's probably coming next. But it is actually Cardi B is asked for a bond. So we know that. So what's been going on with this? If you have been under a rock and you don't know, Well, you know that Cardi B sued Tasha K, and Tasha K lost. And Cardi B, she sued her for defamation, slander, libel, whatever. And Tasha K lost to the tune of $3.8 million. Now, hey, Miss Quiet One. Now, that is the, the gist of it. She got sued and she lost, okay? $3.8 million, that was the judgment. So, of course, Tasha, anybody would do it. Tasha K appealed. She appealed the judgment. Anybody would do that, okay? That is all. You're gonna exhaust your legal, everything that you have, your arsenal. You're gonna exhaust it, okay? So that's what she did. She appealed. Now that is really to hold off time that she would have to pay this $3.8 million. She appealed, so now we are waiting the verdict of this appeal, whether or not it is going to be even heard by the court. That's it. We really haven't even gotten to the point of whether or not it's going to be upheld or not. We're actually waiting to see if they're going to entertain it, if they're going to even hear it. I mean, that's where we're at with this. So the first time that, I guess the first go round, it was some legal red tape where the case wasn't actually closed because there was not a final judgment, because Cardi B had an injunction that we were waiting for the court to even say, whether they were going to add this injunction and whatnot. So the actual case itself was not closed. Once we got the injunction added on, they closed the case. So Tasha K's appeal they were able to enter the appeal. Hey, Life with the Leonard family. So they entered the appeal. So Tasha K also had her brief submitted. And so we're waiting for what the court is going to say. So in the meantime, Cardi B, she asked the court, she wants her money. She's like, listen, while we're waiting on this appeal, I'd like to start collecting on this judgment. So she entered what you call what is it? Oh my goodness. I'm trying to get the word for it. It escapes me. Execution. She wanted to execute the judgment, right? So Tasha asked for a stay. Okay. She's like, well, while the appeal is waiting to be heard and whether you're going to have a decision, we would like a stay. So what a stay is where they basically pause and they say, you can't collect on the judgment until we find out what the appeal verdict is going to be. So Cardi B, Friday, she comes back and she says, well, guess what? While we wait for this appeal, I would like a bond. I would like a supersedeas bond. Really what it is, it's an appeal bond, okay? And what a supersedeas, basically appeal bond, it is a sort of a surety court bond that is required in a court of law when defendants want to appeal a ruling to a higher court while delaying the payment of a judgment. The purpose of a supersedeas bond is to hold the defendant liable for court costs should their appeal be unsuccessful. If the higher court upholds the lower court's decision, the appeal bond guarantees that the defendant will pay the judgment, interest, court costs, and attorney's fees. So we all know what a bond is. So Cardi B wants the bond in the amount of the judgment amount. So she wants Tasha K to pay $3.8 million up front right now. So since you want to wait till this appeal, well, we need a bond to be sure that we're going to get our money in the event that this appeal is not upheld. Want a bond. And usually these things are granted. Like, this isn't anything that is abnormal. These are things that people do. So we can't say, right, CR, thank you. Writ of execution. Cardi entered a writ of execution, an execution on the judgment stating, hey, we want our money now. I want my money now. And so Tasha comes back and says, well, hey, I need a stay, while we're waiting on the verdict of the appeal, waiting to see what the court is going to do. We need to stay. We need to hold up. We're not gonna start paying this judgment yet. Well, Cardi comes back Friday and says, no, ma'am, we need a bond. We need a bond in the amount of that $3.8 million so that we know that if this is not upheld, we're going to get our money. Right? If this is going to be the same thing, we need our money. But if they're going to overturn it, well, then that would be another story. But Cardi said, nah, we need a bond. So let's go ahead and take a look at these court documents, read through them. They even mentioned the videos that Tasha has been doing. They mentioned the video about her talking about moving to Africa. So it's really apparent that Cardi B's attorneys and Cardi B, they watch what goes on out here. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Tasha K has been her own demise with her case because she would not stop talking about Cardi B. She would not stop talking about this case. Her pride got in the way, and she has not stopped talking. And every time she does a video, whether she takes it down, whether it's on the backup channel, whether it's on the app or whatever, Cardi B's team, they are watching. They watch every piece of it. Okay. So let's take a look at this, and let's go ahead and read through them. Whew. Child. All right. So, plaintiff's brief in response to defendant's motion and support. Okay, wait a minute. Get the whole thing. And support of supersedious motion. Wait a minute. Plaintiff's brief in response to defendant's motions and in support of a supersedious bond. Plaintiff Cardi B respectively submits this brief in response to the motion for stay pending appeal and the motion for denial of plaintiff's applications for writ of execution filed by defendants Tasha K and K Studios, and in support of plaintiff's motion to the extent necessary for a supersedious bond. On July 19, 2022, this court issued an amended judgment in this case, which incorporates the jury's verdict in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $3,863,753.47. Okay. On July 29, 2022, the defendants filed a notice of appeal. The plaintiff sought to execute on the amended judgment on September 1st, 2022. So Cardi B, she wanted to execute the amended judgment on September 1st. So on September 1st, Cardi B went down to that court and she said, I want my money. She entered that writ of execution. Now, the defendants have sought a stay of execution on the amended judgment pending the outcome of the appeal. So Tasha K sought a stay, said, hold up, we cannot pay this until we know about this appeal. Now, the argument that Cardi B has, a stay of execution requires an appropriate supersedious bond. Rule 62 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure governs defendants' request for a stay of execution and provides that they are only entitled to a stay upon providing a supersedious bond. So what they're saying here, their argument, if you don't catch that, is that Rule 62 states that in order for a defendant to even get a stay of execution, they are entitled to pay a bond. Okay? You don't just get a stay. You have to provide a bond in order to even get one. So the defendants nevertheless argue that they are entitled to a stay without providing a bond pursuant to Rule 62, which provides if a judgment is a lien on the judgment debtor's property under the law of the state where the court is located, the judgment debtor is entitled to the same stay of execution the court would give. The law of the state that defendants rely on for their position is twofold. First, the defendants are citing all judgments obtained in the superior courts, magistrate courts, or other courts of this state shall be of equal dignity and shall bind all the property of the defendant in judgment, both real and personal, from the date of such judgments, except as otherwise provided in this code. Some courts in this district have interpreted this code section to mean that a judgment debtor in a Georgia federal court is entitled to the same stay of execution that a Georgia court would give. The language of OCGA does not necessarily dictate this result because under the prevailing rule, Rule 62, is limited to situations where a judgment creditor is only required to perform mere ministerial acts to transform the judgment into a lien. Now, thus, whether Rule 62 applies may depend on the nature of Georgia's other requirements for acquiring a lien. So now we're talking about leaning on properties and all of this, but is that why Tasha sold her home? Because they were trying to put a lien on her property? Is that why things started getting sold? I would have to research that further to really understand that language, but it kind of looked like that. I kind of was reading that. Does that mean that she thought they were going to put a lien on it? And is that why but to any event, that is just legal, jargon that they're in there. They're citing different cases to try to make their case. But this all boils down to a supersedious bond. We're just reading the paperwork, but that's what this all means. So they said, regardless, this court need not weigh in on the issue because a stay of execution would be warranted under either federal or state law if an appropriate supersedious bond is provided. So they came back and said, regardless, like I just said, regardless to all of that, it don't matter because we still would only get a stay if we had a bond. So period, point blank. We don't care about none of that. Give us our bond. Now, the notice of appeal filed as provided in Code Sections 5637 and 5638 shall serve as supersedious upon payment of all costs in the trial court by the appellant, and it shall not be necessary that a supersedious bond or other form of security be filed, provided, however, that upon motion by the appealee made in trial court before or after the appeal is docketed in the appellate court, the trial court shall require that supersedious bond or other form of security be given with such surety and such amount as the court may require. Now, under this code section, a notice of an appeal filed in a state court in Georgia acts as an automatic stay on the execution of a judgment. However, upon motion by the appealee, the court shall require a bond or other form of security. Indeed, once the appealee moves for a supersedious bond, it is entitled to that bond, and the court's discretion on the question of whether a bond is necessary vanishes. Now, thus, even assuming Rule 62 applies, the defendant's request for a stay would still be subject to a bond requirement. Nothing in OCGA 5646 suggests that a trial court may refuse to require a supersedious bond posted for the benefit of an appealee who seeks security for a money judgment. Now, the defendant's contention that Georgia law entitles them to a stay without providing a supersedious bond is plainly wrong. They cite DeKalb. Now, they're saying here, now Tasha K's team is wrong because they are citing a case that was DeKalb County School District versus JWM. Now, in this case, the district court held that Georgia law did not require a bond because the appellant was county agency and was exempt from the bond requirement pursuant to OCGA. That basis is wholly, now Tasha is not a federal agency, so I don't know why they would be citing a case where it was a school. So like they just said, it's inapplicable to this case. No number 211 CV, whatever, distinguishing DeKalb County in part for the same reason. As for the mechanism for obtaining a stay in Rule 62 is triggered, the procedural rules for obtaining a stay and requiring a supersedious bond continue to be governed by the federal rules of civil procedure under the Erie Doctrine. And then they say, see Horowitz versus Diamond Aircraft Industries. And then they just cite what happened in that. In any event, the defendants have filed a motion for stay of execution as required under Rule 62. And in abundance of caution, the plaintiff has filed a motion concurrent with this response seeking a bond as would ordinarily be required in state court under Rule OCGA 5646. And as a result, this procedural issue is moot either way. And the only issue remaining to be addressed by this court is the supersedious bond required for a stay of execution on the amended judgment. Defendants requested an interim stay to allow the defendants to apply for stay pursuant Federal Rule AP 8A2. If their motion for stay was denied, but they did not cite any authority that would exempt them from a bond requirement for an interim stay either. They're just really digging it in and honing it in as to why they don't need one. Now, the plaintiff is entitled to a supersedeas bond for the full amount of the amended judgment. Okay. Now, this is further in their argument. And like I said, Cardi B and them was just really honing it in as to why Tasha is not in, like, she's entitled to not have this overturned. Like, just because you're asking for a stay, you still have to follow rules that are in place. A supersedeas bond, what they're saying, would be required for a stay of execution any other time. And so anything that they have argued in their paperwork, Cardi B's team is saying it is null and void. Regardless to whatever cases they're showing or making as examples, a supersedeas bond would be required anyway. If you are asking for a stay of execution, especially in the amount of $3.8 million, this judgment, then you need to pay a bond just to ensure that Cardi would get her money in the event that this doesn't, go Tasha's way. They need to pay for the court costs. They need to pay, the attorney's fees, because now you're wasting my time. It's like you have me going to court again, fighting now an appeal, and then it's just going to be not overturned. It's still going to just be upheld. It's like, girl, you wasting my time. Pay the money, right? So that's what this is all about. So they said the plaintiff is entitled to a supersedeas bond for the full amount of the amended judgment. So the purpose of a supersedeas bond is to preserve the status quo while protecting the non-appealee party's rights pending the appeal. Now, crucially, the bond secures the prevailing party against any loss sustained as a result of being forced to forego execution on a judgment during the course of an ineffectual appeal. That's basically what I just said. That, girl, you are wasting my time. This is an ineffectual appeal. You are making me go forward with this. You are wasting my time and money. And that's basically what this sentence says. It's like, so I need a bond because I need to be able to ensure that this, you're wasting my time. So you want to do all this? We'll pay the $3.8 million as a bond then. Since you don't want to pay the judgment, pay it all. And they want the bond in the amount, the full amount. Okay. Now, the purpose is for its judgment to be protected from non-satisfaction in the event that the appellant has insufficient assets to satisfy the judgment when the judgment is affirmed on appeal. It is the defendant's burden to demonstrate why this court should deviate from the usual requirement of a full security supersedeas bond. So they're saying this is more than a hypothetical concern in this case. During the litigation, Kibi bragged publicly that she has taken steps to insulate herself from a judgment, and they reference a video, P651 Cardi video 169 at timestamp 12:30. And there have been recent online reports that Kibi has moved from Georgia to avoid enforcement of the judgment. C. Marty Bowser ran off on the plug. Tasha K allegedly moves to Africa to escape $4 million owed to Cardi B. And this was published September 14th, 2022 at 12:32 p.m. So they're citing another blogger or someone that made this video or whatever. Ran off on the plug. Tasha K allegedly moves to Africa. Now you tell me that these lawyers and Cardi B and them is not in the streets. Okay? You tell me that they're not in the streets. And this is why I always say you have to watch. You got to watch it. I mean, you can't, people always say, oh, these little bloggers, nobody's watching them. use a goddamn lie. They are watching. You never know who's watching what. YouTube and the Instagram, Twitter, all of this stuff is not a different Twitter for a celebrity than it is for you and I. They watching. So, honey, if they seen that, they see Tasha's shit and they run it right on in. So they said, honey, she out here talking about she don't got it. They said this is more than a hypothetical concern in this case, because y'all remember that the court, the judge even told Tasha that if she tried to move her money, if she tried to do anything slick, he was going to be on her ass. He told her that. So they saying here, like, listen, while she was in court, Kibi bragged publicly that she had taken steps to insulate herself from a judgment. And there have been recent online reports that Kibi has moved from Georgia to avoid enforcement of this judgment. Ran off on the plug. Tasha K allegedly moves to Africa to escape the $4 million owed to Cardi B. Child, then they said, likewise, Georgia law requires a judgment debtor to show good cause for a supersedeas bond less than the whole amount of the judgment, remaining unsatisfied, costs on the appeal, interest, and damages for delay. The bond requirement should only be waived in extraordinary circumstances and only where alternative means of securing the judgment creditor's interests are available. So they said, listen, the only way we can waive this bond requirement is if there are other alternative means of getting our money. So if she's got another way to pay us the $3.8 million, then we will consider it. We'll consider hearing this. But other than that, she got to pay the $3.8 million. Okay? We need that. Okay? And only time it's going to be waived if it's extraordinary circumstances. So defendants have made no attempt whatsoever to meet their burden to demonstrate why the full security bond requirement should be reduced or waived. Accordingly, the defendant should, at a minimum, be required to provide a supersedeas bond in the full amount of the amended judgment to obtain a stay of execution. And so then they cite another case, First Citizens Bank and Trust Company versus Riverwalk, where they were requiring a supersedeas bond in the full amount of the judgment totaling more than $7 million. And they got it. And then there was another case, Ayers versus Harrison, where they required a supersedeas bond in the full amount of the judgment plus interest during the appeal for a total amount of $2.9 million. And they got it. Okay. So they are saying, hey, we want, for the foregoing reasons, the plaintiff respectfully requests this court require a supersedeas bond in the amount of $3.8 million, basically. Yeah. Thank you, KB. Tasha is Cardi's best witness because she tells on herself every time, because she's too busy trying to make herself look good on the internet. I appreciate you keeping us up to date on this case. Thank you. No problem. I told you guys we were going to, we'll be done when the case is over, and it's not over. And unfortunately for Tasha K, it just keeps going because she just keeps going. We pleaded to her in our last video. J Baby is in the house. This is the number one wino that comes over. And he's welcome here. He does his thing, but he's welcome here. But honey, we had pleaded to Tasha K, J Baby, in the last video. We pleaded to her that why don't she just stop this nonsense? Whatever it is that she has with Cardi B, she needs to look herself in the mirror and say, God damn, what the hell is it? She needs to just go confess it to a therapist or confess it to Shaq. She needs to tell somebody that the jealousy or whatever it is that is in her heart for Cardi, she's got to let that shit go, because at this point it is just eating her alive. It is a personal thing. It has nothing to do with a beef. She says that we forget that her and Cardi got real beef. No, ma'am, you got beef with Cardi B. Cardi B does not have beef with you. And it seems as though there is something personal that you have with this girl, and you need to let that shit go. You are obsessed, and it's wreaking jealousy at this point. You need to let it go. You are so busy trying to prove something to your fans and your subscribers. And at this point, everybody is looking at you, shaking their head like, damn, let it go. Like, okay, the deed is done. You're just going in a circle, You're just digging your hole deeper and deeper. Like, there's nothing you can do at this point. There's no way you can get out of this. No way you can get out of it. So the best thing for you to do for yourself and your sanity is to just let it go. Is to just let it go. Pay the woman and move on. But you so busy trying to prove that I'm still going to talk about her. I still can. Why? I wouldn't even say this woman's name. I wouldn't even want to say the name Cardi B. I would just go on ahead and start talking about somebody else. I wouldn't even be talking about Cardi. Like, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Now they want a bond. And why should they do anything other than what they would usually do? And that's Cardi's argument. Anybody else would be required to pay a bond. Okay, you want a stay? Okay, we need a bond to secure that. It just doesn't make sense. You know you don't have $3.8 million. See, this is the part. Okay, this is the part. Now she says, I ain't got it. She would rather she'd rather ridicule it, right? She'd rather she'd rather antagonize Cardi B. Instead of just saying, I really don't have it. I cannot believe I got myself in this, and try to get out of it. But because you want to remain so prideful and vengeful, now you want to sit here and ridicule and say you don't have it. Instead of just saying, I don't have it. I don't know why I got myself into this. I got to figure out a way to get out of this. You're going to lose your channel. You're going to lose everything that you worked hard for. That's really what's going to come because of your pride and arrogance. And that's sad, because Cardi can legally take your channel. And I don't think people realize that. Like, legally, all Cardi B has to do is say, I have asked this woman to stop talking about me. She is bullying and harassing me. Right? I have a legal case with her. I have a paperwork. I have an injunction that says she can't say this, that, and the other. Cardi B can submit that, and they can take her channel. They can take her channel. And you can make people think that that app is apping, but that app ain't apping. YouTube is your main source of income. And see, the people that you tease and that you ridicule, we're not out here depending on YouTube. I work every day, and I'm proud to say I have a 9 to 5. I would love to be able to, you know what I'm saying, be a full-time YouTuber, but the reality of it is YouTube fluctuates too much for me. You know, you can't depend on YouTube. There has to be other income coming in. But when you make YouTube your bread and butter, you put yourself in this position. Tasha K will not be just fine. And it's people like you that make her think that. She will not be just fine. She will not be just fine. She's not fine now, which is why she screams and hollers at the camera, which is why she's ducking and dodging and running all over the country. She will not be fine. She's not fine now. And she did this to herself. It's people like you that make her believe that she's fine. She's not fine. And the thing, when you care about someone and you care about them being fine, you tell them the truth and you have them be accountable for the things that they do. She will not be fine. How do you think being fine is being owed, having to pay $3.8 million to somebody? How do you figure that? Now, when her channel is gone, what are you going to be saying then? She's not fine. She's not fine now. If anyone's seen Tasha K in previous years, Tasha is stressing. It's written all over her face. It's written in her disposition. It's all in her body language. She's going through it. Anybody would be going through it. It is normal that you would be going through it. And this is what you guys kill me. You say, why am I worried about it? I'm not worried about it. I'm reporting on it because it's a train wreck and it's in the press. And that's what we report on. The same way she reports on people's lives falling apart. We're reporting on it, and we're going to report on it because it's a celebrity that she is in the press over. So until this is over, then we will report on it. And we're going to continue to speak on it because she got herself in this mess and she could have got herself out of it. But because she wanted to impress people like you, this is why she finds herself where she is. So, it's sad that she would tear her whole, everything she worked for. She would literally dismantle it herself. She dismantled this. She did this. No one did this but her. She did this to herself. Her husband told her to stop. She didn't stop. Do you remember in the court documents? Her husband said, "You don't know that." And she said, my sources are true. My sources are legit. Her husband told her that she didn't know for certain what she was saying was true. Nobody can tell Tasha K anything. Nobody can talk reason to that woman. It was at all costs. Tasha she wanted to get, and I know that feeling of YouTube, and I'm really trying to talk to y'all right now. Like, we kiki and we make fun of things and we do the little joking and everything, but all jokes aside, I know that feeling of how it is with YouTube to really feel like you're trying to get that video and you're trying to get those numbers right. I know how that feels because I go through that. I don't do the same type of material. I don't have, I had some interviews and stuff, but I don't do that. I don't hunt down sensationalized stories. I don't use people's worst moments and try to report on them. If they're in the press, usually that's what I follow, but I don't go digging for people, right? But I know what it's like to try to get that next number, to try to get, first of all, when they say jealous of Tasha K, I don't make money off Tasha K videos. My money is made, I'm going to say it again. My money, and I've showed my analytics plenty of times. My thousands of dollar money videos are my documentaries. I make at best $70 off Tasha, $10 or $7. I don't make a lot of money on these videos. This is more for entertainment, and it's more for my subscribers because they're interested. I know what it's like to have to put up videos and want people to watch them. But the only shit y'all want to watch is the garbage. So that's where she put herself. She put herself in this box where she's forced to come up with, trash because that's what y'all want to watch. She's not brave like the rest of us that say, I'm gonna put art together. I'm gonna put, real, thought-provoking videos together. No, she's gonna go out there, get the trash, get the garbage that y'all want, because she put herself in that damn box. So she's been forced to go out here and lie, to go out here and do whatever it takes to get the views, because she want to be a full-time YouTuber. She don't got no other income. When you don't have nothing else but YouTube, I don't know what y'all think YouTube is. I don't know what y'all think YouTube is. YouTube doesn't pay you unless you got views, unless you got subscribers. If you don't get no views, you don't get no money. YouTube is not like a job. As long as you show up, you get paid. You don't get shit unless you got them views. So Tasha understands that. These people don't want me to do regular schmegular. What that other shit she used to do, was y'all watching that? Beauty videos, and was y'all watching that? No, y'all was watching the shit when she started breaking stories about R. Kelly and Steve Harvey wife and all this shit. That's when y'all started watching, huh? And then when she hit the Cardi B video, that's when she started making traction. But when she was just doing regular shit, it wasn't making, the numbers wasn't there. When she seen what y'all wanted, she played into that persona. So she put herself in that box. She put herself in that box. And my whole thing is, honey, it is not good for a long-term income. It isn't, because it fluctuates. And people that don't do YouTube, they don't understand it. They don't. They do not understand that the lights, camera, action in the show is all for glitz and glamour. And when she turns those lights out and the cameras are off, she's stressing, trying to figure out how those numbers are going to go up, how I'm going to get the next video, how I'm going to get the next interview. And COVID, people are back outside. Everybody's not on YouTube like that anymore. Y'all just don't get it. Y'all think that girl is a millionaire. She's not a millionaire off of YouTube. And now her channel is severely affected by this lawsuit. A lot of people are not watching. A lot of people got a bad taste in their mouth. She can come up here and fake the funk all she wants, but I see it. The moment she got into this shit with Cardi B, she messed her entire brand up. Her shit went down the tubes. Her shit is not even giving what it used to. Yeah, subs, you don't get money from subs. You don't get money from subs. We get paid off views, dear. Do you understand? Go Google it. A person with 1 million subs and 15K subs, or even 1,000 subs, can make the same amount of money as somebody with 1 million subs. It's based off of views. We don't get paid off of the subs. We get paid off of views, and we don't get paid even off that. We get paid off of our CPM. So if you don't know anything about YouTube, you shouldn't even step in the comments and be trying to talk to me about numbers. You don't know anything about algorithms. You don't know nothing about that. So you shouldn't even be trying to have a conversation with that. I can tell you YouTube inside and out. I know YouTube. I teach classes on YouTube. There's nothing you can tell me about this. She don't get paid off of subs. I can make more money than her. Somebody with lesser subscribers can make more money than me. It has to do with views. So you can't tell us nothing. That people that do YouTube, you can't come up here and tell us that Tasha's rich. It don't work like that. People swear as soon as you get monetized, boom, you're getting paid. No. And it's always the people who aren't content creators who swear they know. Exactly. Right. Her AdSense ain't checking. Okay. It's not. It's not. And you can't even run over there and really even look at, like, you can look at Social Blade. Social Blade will kind of like it'll give you an idea, but it's not even really, only the content creator can see their analytics, honey. Yeah, she got them daggone anybody, and that's what people do. They go get teeth. They go get them goddamn veneers. And it's like, I made it. That's what everybody do now. That when they get some money, they go get veneers, might get a BBL, and then it's like, oh, they got money because they got teeth in their mouth. Girl, do y'all remember the goddamn veneers was for people that didn't have no teeth? Veneers is for people that got gums or they got bad teeth. Not everybody's going and getting a veneer. Hey, natural girl, she says, you my baby sis in my head. No one else brings it like you do, boo. Thank you. Give Nexie baby. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you for the $10. Y'all know I can't do nothing but tell the truth. That's all I know how to do is tell the truth. And this isn't a dig at Tasha K. I know that lights, camera, action equals money. And she has done that very well. She has done a great job of making everybody think she got it. That's how you sell YouTube. That's what she's supposed to do. Everything that she do, that's what she's supposed to do. She's supposed to make it look like she's rich. She's supposed to make her set look like it's popping. She's supposed to look like that's how you sell your channel. But when you start lying and you don't want to back down from a lie, that's when you're just like going over you're going too far. But some people, like I said, they do it all for, hey, they're willing to go all out. No, she does not have 1 million views per video. And that's the thing too. If you look at these lists of who's the richest and all that, you won't see any Black YouTubers that are in the celebrity space, the celebrity gossip space. Nah, they're not. Nope. And a lot of them rely on their super chats and things like that. Like I'm telling you, our algorithm as far as celebrity gossip, it's not like the PewDiePie and Jeffree Star and all those people. We are not nowhere near that revenue. When you get your views are going up millions really quickly, it also has to do with how fast you get how fast your views and your subscribers, like your videos and your channel has to be constantly going up, 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 up for your money to be going up, up, up. You got to be popping with like gaining subs, gaining views, gaining engagement. All of that is calculated into your CPM and what they're going to pay you per video. Like it's really deep. Like it's not what people think it is. Boom, boom. She monetized. Boom. She had a lot of people in her chat. So she must have made thousands. No, you might come away from a video and you had 100. Like I got 300 and some people in here right now. I'm going to come away from this video. By the time it's done, it'll be like 1,000 views. Right. But they might take I might have said a couple cuss words, so my monetization is probably going to be limited when I get done with it, and then I'm going to have to resubmit it for them to put it back on green. Like it's so that affects my money right off the bat. Yes, Lovely T does well. She does do well. And her numbers, she's one of those that I look at her channel and I see that her chat be popping. She's got a lot of cash, a lot of super chats, but her numbers like kind of go with the subscribers that she's got, her views, like it all adds up. And she has like a healthy stream. Her streams are really healthy. A lot of people, a lot of engagement. It's in the algorithm. She does well. But you have to look at over time, you know, how your channel also does too over time. So a video that ends up with 500,000 views, yeah, how fast did it get those 500,000 views? If it's over time, it's not going to make a lot of money. It has to make the 500,000 right off the bat within the first week, you know, first few days like that in order for you to get the money. I mean, I've showed, you know, how that works. I try to show people that so that you can understand that. But that's, you know, Tasha K has always been smoke and mirrors. It's all been smoke and mirrors. And I think with this case with Cardi B, a lot of people we see Tasha K as a real person. I think you guys used to see her as this machine, right? This queen of YouTube, this unstoppable force. And I think that with this case with Cardi B, it kind of pulled back the cloak. And now you see her for what she really is. And she knows that. She knows that everybody can see her. And that's embarrassing. It's like, damn, the real me is being shown. Don't think she's not out here busting her ass. She is out here. You just think about it. How many interviews can you do? How many people can you find? Mistresses. How many stories can you break? That's why you have to have a variety. You gotta have a variety. You've got to be able to do different stories, and you have to be able to sell your shit. You just can't do salaciousness. It's got to be, you got to maybe have a podcast. You got to maybe have, you know, do a show. I mean, you have to have variety. You can't just be on people's ass. It gets boring after a while. People like, right. She's just a one-trick pony. It's a one-trick pony. She doesn't have a variety. And I think that, with this case, it really showed who she really is and what she's capable of as a content creator, that she has nothing else. The facade is it we all see it now. We all see her for who she is. And we all saw that this thing with Cardi B, it's very much so personal now. It's past the courts. It's past that. It's all about Cardi B. When she said we forget that her and Cardi got real beef, I said, this woman is delusional. Where do you got real beef with Cardi B? Where? You have a beef. Cardi don't want you in her life. Cardi's sick of you. You are, like I told you the other day, you're like a piece of shit that she stepped in, and in the morning on her way out to work, she stepped in some shit and she's like, oh my God, I gotta go back in here and change my shit. Now I done messed my day up. You're like that. Like she stepped in some shit that she did not want to step in. She wasn't even looking to step in it. And now you just won't go away. Girl, this beef, you got beef. She don't know you. She don't even really know you. And that's what she said. This woman just came out of nowhere. I don't know this woman. She won't stop. Can you imagine something? I go through it, so I know how that shit feel. Can you imagine somebody doing that shit to you? People, you don't even know this woman. And she just won't stop. And it starts to be like, damn, what did I do to this woman? I don't even know her. And then you up there talking about, can you imagine how Cardi feels to hear Tasha say her husband's name, speak on her kids, like she be talking about Offset like she Offset her wife. It's like she be intruding on these people's lives, like she really knows these people. I mean, all the women out there, all the married women out there, how would you feel if a woman was saying your husband's name? I mean, really, like she know your man. Offset this and Offset that. That's not girl. Why are you speaking on my man? You speaking like you know my man. You're like you've been in my home. Some things are just off limits, and you guys have no limits. So, J Baby, you make me think you don't have no limits. Why is Tasha K's husband allowing her to talk about other people's homes and husbands and what they doing in the bedroom? She goes too far. Why are you thinking about all of that? Why are you so caught up in what Offset's doing with his peen as a married woman? I mean, it's just too obsessed. I ain't gonna lie. I remember Cardi saying she'll stalk someone if she don't like them. Seems like that energy came right back around to her. Wow, did she say that before? Tasha, Cardi does not want to be your friend. Cause he don't wear the right. He sure enough don't. Now, where does he do it in the open at? That's what I'd like to know. Where does Offset do anything in the open? I've never seen him do anything in the open. I don't know who he does anything with and where he does it at. See how you can get caught up really quickly in defamation and libel. You don't know what that man, have you seen him cheating? Offset the shade room. That's the shade room. So now the shade room is the authority on somebody's life. How do you know that that's true? See, that's how you can't prove things with the shade room. You have to be able to say you know because you were there and you saw it. See, that's how she lost, because that's not the truth. Blogs aren't the truth. Lipstick Alley is not the truth. You have to be able to say you were there, you know for a fact. Come on now. I mean, like I say all the time, you can like somebody, but shit, enough is enough. You got to hold people accountable. I don't know. Yes, I'm very serious. I don't know anything about Offset and Cardi B. I do not know about these people's lives. I'm not there. Neither are you. Y'all got to grow up and y'all have to wake up. These are celebrities, it's true, but they're people just like me and you. I don't know what the hell these people be doing. The Shade Room. Are you serious? The Shade Room? That's gossip. I don't know what Cardi B does. How do we know what Tasha K's husband is doing? We don't know. Exactly. Like, she's more worried about Offset than Cardi is. We don't know. And we don't know, like, they're young people, Cardi and Offset. They're into, they go to the strip clubs and all that. Cardi says that she, I think she's partial to women. You don't know if they both enjoy a woman together from a time to time. You don't know what these young people do. So you don't know if Cardi, she might be attracted to some of these women just like Offset is. You don't know what people do in their bedroom. And what they do is their business. I know plenty of young people that, they enjoy females together. And that's their right. That's their business as a married couple. We don't know if that's what they enjoy. You don't know if they go and do this together. But whose business is that? Is that my business? Is that your business? No. It's none of our business. Yeah, he cheated, but Cardi knows he did. What is she exposing? Nothing. The time she said he was cheating was a lie, and the guy came out and said he made the fake video. The Shade Room is working for NM and KC. They definitely put out false information. Well, I seen something today that was really false on somebody's YouTube channel. Like the way they worded their video, I was like, wow, that was so pro Nicki Minaj. It was just really like the way the video was like Cardi B admitted to, and you guys know exactly who I'm talking about when I say it. The video was like Cardi B admitted to paying, what did it say? Cardi B admitted to paying people to hurt the bartenders or something like that. Cardi B pleaded guilty to paying somebody to beat the bartenders up. It was something like that. I'm like, that is not what she pleaded guilty to. What are you talking about? Like, but it the way they made it, it just looked like this is so against Cardi B. It was terrible. And you can just see the shade on people like, okay, it cannot be any more blatant than that. But I just wanted to go over that with you guys. I told you that this is what was going to happen. We all know that when Tasha gets out here and gets crazy, child, it's something to do with this lawsuit. And Cardi B said that she was going to have a bad day on Friday, and she sure did. She sure did. Okay? She sure did. A surety bond, a appeals bond, a supersedious bond, whatever it is you want to call it, a bond in the amount of $3.8 million. They said, okay, if you want to have a stay on this judgment, then you have to pay a bond. And Cardi and them saying, hey, in the usual instance, this would happen. So there shouldn't be any exception. So it's all drafted up. They have it. It's a proposed, them granting it. So it's basically been drafted up and the judge just has to sign it. I'm looking for the judge to sign it. I can't see why he wouldn't sign it. I can't see why he wouldn't approve that. I mean, if that's the legal, what is usually, and that's what I was telling somebody earlier today, that's the usual way things go. So I can't see why they wouldn't do something that they would be usually doing. But one thing I want to address before I get off of here, a lot of these attorneys and these celebrities are getting happy with trying to sue bloggers for defamation. Okay. And I want to say this. We are in the days where people are really sensitive. Okay. Rappers usually have had battle raps, and people have said way worse in these battle raps, okay? People have been called homophobic slurs in battle raps. They've been called drug addicts. They've been accused of being prostitutes. I mean, all kinds of things in battle raps, okay? They have even said these things in their own raps. So if you're going to go out here and you want to fight someone for defamation, first of all, I'm going to say this. We have a right to our opinion. You cannot take somebody's First Amendment right away from them. Freedom of speech, I'm entitled to say my opinion. If I'm reading court documents, if I'm coming from something that was said about you from, another lawyer or on a docket or something, and I'm reading that and I said, this is my opinion, I have a right to that. But when I'm coming out and I'm trying to say that I know something to be true and I'm slandering you, then that's when we have a problem. But one thing you cannot take is freedom of speech. And you guys are getting we're getting really walking a fine line with violating people's First Amendment rights. And we're starting to get too sensitive about what's said and what's not said. And if you tell people they got to have a thick skin and all of that, you have to be careful that you don't do these same things yourself, if you know what I'm trying to say. If you get what I'm trying to say, I don't really just want to come right out and but sometimes people just go a little bit too far. It's too much. Everybody's getting trigger happy with wanting to sue for defamation. Half of these bloggers and people don't got no damn money. What are you going to even get? And it's just like, so you're doing it for a vindictive, for spiteful. And if you're doing something for spite, how do you feel like you're getting defamed? That's what I don't get. If you're doing something to spite someone and you just want to take their channel, or you saying you want to take their name, or you want to take their trademark, then how are you being defamed? Because that same spirit that is behind that person that is talking about you or defaming you, you got that same spirit on you, because you're trying to come after this person and you want to take something that they have. So it's like, I don't see how you can fight defamation. Because if you want to go at it, if now you're going at it in public and you're going back and forth with the person, well, how are you feeling defamed? Feeling defamed and feeling slandered, you feel lied on. So how are you going back and forth? So yeah, a lot of this is spite. It's doing things to be vindictive. And, Tasha K's lawsuit with Cardi B was a different story. But some of these other ones that are now trying to come up, I think it's done out of spite. And now they're just they're picking, and they're looking for people to try to sue. They're looking for, I'm going to make an example. And it's like, you can't do that off of somebody's opinion. Like, I have a right to have an opinion about you. It's a difference between an opinion and slander. Okay? So, message to all of these attorneys and people that want to file lawsuits, is it really worth it? What are you going to get? Half of these people are rich. They have money. Why would you want to come after little YouTubers? Just tell the people to take the damn videos down. It's not that deep. 1,800 views versus 1 billion people on YouTube. You're worrying about somebody got 2,000 likes, 2,000 views. It's not that deep. Yeah, the shit that they said it might have been a lot. But honey, y'all done had battle raps and done called people worse. Your ass done sat up there and said way worse about somebody. So don't think all that shit's not going to be brought up in court, because it is going to be brought up in court. Oh, it's going to be brought up in court. Okay? So that's all I got to say, y'all. Y'all make sure that you share this video, you like this video, but most importantly, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Drop down in the description box. Check out Adam and Eve. Click the link, and you can get 25% off using our code EROTICA. Okay? So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch y'all on the next video. That's all I got, y'all. Love y'all. Bye.